Let us now look into the microscopic features of lymph node. I'm grateful to Professor Michael Horsch of University of Michigan Medical School for providing the images of histology sections used in this video. Lymph nodes are small, bean-shaped, encapsulated organs along the course of the lymphatic vessels to filter the lymph passing through them. They are mainly found in the axilla, groin, abdomen and pelvis, thorax and neck regions. Lymph node is covered by a capsule composed of dense connective tissue, which is made of collagen elastin fibers and fibroblasts. It sends its septa or trabeculae into the node, which is also made of dense connective tissue. Within the lymph node, there is a network of reticular fibers or type 3 collagen fibers and reticular cells, which form the supporting framework for the lymphocytes, as can be seen in the silver stained section. Cells of the reticular network include reticular cells, which resemble fibroblasts, and these synthesize reticular fibers, dendritic cells among T cell population, and follicular dendritic cells in the lymphatic follicles are the antigen presenting cells, and macrophages are the phagocytic cells. General architecture of lymph node shows an outer cortex and a central medulla. The cortex forms the outer layer except at the hilum. It consists of both B and T lymphocytes, plasma cells, dendritic cells and follicular dendritic cells, macrophages, reticular cells and reticular framework. In the cortex, the superficial part contains B lymphocytes in lymphatic follicles, and the deeper paracortex contains T lymphocytes. The lymphatic follicles are called as primary lymphatic follicle if they are made of small B lymphocytes, or they are called as secondary lymphatic follicles if they are with a pale germinal center containing antigen stimulated larger B lymphocytes which are actively dividing. Medulla of the lymph node shows medullary cords containing B lymphocytes, reticular cells, plasma cells, macrophages and dendritic cells. And between the medullary cords, we can see medullary sinuses, which is transporting lymph. Flow of the lymph through the lymph node is from the surrounding capsule towards the hilum. The afferent lymphatic vessels bring the lymph to the lymph node, which enters at various points on the surface of the capsule. They branch to form the intracapsular plexus, which then drains the lymph into subcapsular sinuses. From these subcapsular sinuses, the filtered lymph traverses the cortex by draining through the trabecular sinuses. And from cortex, it enters the medulla, wherein it passes through the medullary sinuses. From these medullary sinuses, the lymph is finally drained into the efferent lymphatic vessel at the hilum. We can see macrophages in subcapsular sinus as well as in medullary sinus here. Plus, within these sinuses, there is reticular meshwork of fibers as well as reticular cells, which will impede the flow of lymph through these lymphatic channels, and the macrophages help in filtering the lymph by phagocytosis. Although a few lymphocytes enter the lymph node through the afferent lymphatic vessels, most of the lymphocytes which are found here enter the lymph node through the specialized high endothelial venules. These are actually lined by cuboidal endothelium. These vessels not only help in bringing the lymphocytes to the lymph node, but they also help in absorbing almost half the lymph from the sinuses. These high endothelial venules are most abundant in the paracortex zone. So quickly recalling what we have seen so far, lymph nodes are covered by capsule that send in trabeculae, and node is permeated by reticular network. Lymph node has an outer cortex and a central medulla. The superficial cortex has lymphatic follicles containing B lymphocytes, and deeper paracortex contains T lymphocytes. Medulla has medullary cords and medullary sinuses. Lymph successively passes from afferent vessels into the intracapsular plexus, subcapsular sinus, trabecular sinus, medullary sinus, finally to drain out of the lymph node at hilum by efferent lymphatic vessels. Specialized high endothelial venules transport both lymphocytes and lymph, and these are found predominantly in the paracortex zone. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video. You can also visit this site for similar histology videos.